Thank you for tuning into Strategies for Proposal Success, Part 2 of our series titled Demonstrating the Significance of Your Proposal. Here we discuss communicating your proposal's rationale and significance and the purpose of conducting a literature review during proposal development. My name is Sarah Sabag, and I will be presenting this video created by the Grant Services and Analysis Office and the Medical School Office of Research at the University of Michigan.
There are many challenges to proposal writing. One of them is to have excellent ideas. Generating novel, innovative ideas requires critical thinking skills, which can be honed through reading and staying current with the scientific literature, attending lectures, seminars, conferences, and discussing your own work and that of others with your peers often and early in proposal development. You must also be able to communicate your ideas clearly to a diverse group of grant reviewers. The best way to develop your communication skills is by doing. Therefore, take advantage of the opportunities to serve as a reviewer as well as having your proposal reviewed internally. Develop productive habits by writing often and sharing with colleagues, subject matter experts, and mentors. Feedback from your peers and non-experts is essential to provide other perspectives and critiques that reviewers may pick up on. Additionally, speaking about your research often and via various platforms further enhances your communication and critical thinking skills. Some ways to engage with experienced researchers and other subject matter experts include an important form of science communication called Chalk Talks or specific aims sprints. Chalk Talks challenge scientists to articulate their proposal's aims in a free format without the use of pre-prepared visual aids. Grant writers should familiarize themselves with these tools and other platforms to enhance communication skills, promote collaboration, and provide opportunities for constructive feedback during proposal development. Reviewers may come from a range of scientific backgrounds, so what feels obvious to you as the expert may not be obvious to them. The connections between the who, what, why, and how of your project need to be clear and easy to follow. Your goal is to write in a way that helps reviewers quickly understand why your work matters and why it should be funded. Conducting a strong literature review helps make your case by doing more than just listing past studies. It brings the research together into a clear, focused argument. First and foremost, the literature review provides context or the background to your study. A comprehensive, tailored literature review should evaluate the rationale for the study, the rigor of the scientific background, and the extent by which prior literature and/or preliminary data justify the proposed work. Ultimately, the goal of the literature review is to position your proposal within the larger body of the field while making a persuasive case for your application's originality and importance. Specifically, it should show how your study extends and improves upon previous research and why its findings have the potential to add substantially to the field. Ultimately, a well-developed literature review demonstrates the significance of the proposal clearly and concisely, giving reviewers confidence that the proposed study is both necessary and well justified. How does a strong grant proposal clearly and convincingly demonstrate gaps or needs in research? Conduct a literature review to provide a balance between quantitative information, such as program statistics, and qualitative information, such as participant stories. Through this review, you can find demographic data. This includes information about the population that will benefit from your project. These data points may include age, gender, ethnicity, income levels, and more. By presenting a clear demographic profile, you can effectively illustrate the target audience and justify the need for funding. In quantitative data, statistical data is a cornerstone of effective proposal writing. It provides quantifiable evidence that can validate the need for a project and demonstrate its potential impact. This encompasses quantitative research and statistics related to your project's focus area. Whether you're addressing health disparities, disease prevalence, or financial burden, statistical data can paint a clear picture of the urgency for your initiative. While numbers are important, qualitative data adds depth to your proposal. Testimonials, case studies, and narratives provide context to the statistics and can help illustrate the emotional and social impact of your work. Using numbers in your grant proposal will illustrate the importance of your program in your community and serve as evidence that you are making an impact. Utilize reputable sources such as academic journals, government databases, and credible nonprofit organizations. When citing statistics, ensure they are up to date and relevant to your proposal. Here we list some publicly available resources, including PMCR PubMed for evaluating prior research outcomes and methodologies, U.S. Census Bureau, which lists demographic and economic data to provide evidence for studying certain subpopulations within communities, the American Community Survey website, which has local and regional level data on various social economic factors to provide insights into the changing needs of communities, and the website for the CDC, which provides health statistics to discuss prevalence, mortality rates, and health burden.
Once the need is established, narrow the research problem. To do this, conduct a literature review to determine which and explain how previous studies were instrumental to your proposal. Specifically, incorporate knowns and unknowns from these studies in the proposal to define a clear and urgent research problem. Next, discuss how the problem will be resolved. A literature review assesses and identifies methods that are both well suited to the challenge and have been shown to be feasible and valid, thus ensuring your proposed research project is based on the most rigorous, compelling, and reliable sources of information. Finally, explain why your team is the most qualified to conduct the study. The goal of a grant proposal is to convince the funder that you and/or your organization are worthy of investment. Once you have defined your need and presented a credible method to address it, reviewers will want to know if you can successfully complete the aims outlined in your proposal. One of the most effective ways to demonstrate this is by highlighting your relevant previous work in the cited literature, which builds reviewers' confidence in your capacity to deliver on your proposal. Therefore, in proposal success, a writer will capitalize on previous work done by the researcher or team members that is relevant to the proposed research and strategically highlight this within the proposal.
Some other considerations when conducting a literature review include highlighting how your research builds on the strengths and/or addresses the limitations of previous work. Also, it is essential to review and revise, getting feedback from colleagues, mentors, and subject matters on your proposal. Don'ts. Don't ignore contradictory findings. Acknowledging and discussing conflicting data or viewpoints demonstrates critical thinking and credibility. In summary, strategies for proposal success include generating innovative ideas through honing critical thinking skills and clearly communicating these ideas to a diverse group of reviewers. This involves extensive reading, writing, and engaging with peers to obtain feedback in the form of chalk talks. Conducting a literature review is another key strategy for proposal success for several reasons. Thorough reviews evaluate, compare, and synthesize the literature to demonstrate to reviewers that researchers understand the field, contributions, and history of research topic. Literature reviews also situate your proposed study within the context of the field, demonstrating how your work builds upon or addresses limitations of previous work. Additionally, literature reviews demonstrate significance of your project by highlighting gaps, contradictions, and/or needs. Researchers can use various sources to provide evidence in the form of statistics, surveys, and other data to effectively communicate trends and insights that both inform your research and outline your goals and objectives. Further, it provides the justification or rationale for your problem, hypotheses, and methodological approaches. Finally, literature reviews can be used strategically to showcase the strengths of the research team. Ultimately, literature reviews are essential to developing a compelling proposal since they serve as the foundation of a research project. The Grant Services and Analysis Office at the University of Michigan Medicine has written an academic article which is publicly available, which is titled "The Importance of a Literature Review in Proposal Development." To learn more, visit our GS&A webpage, which has links to the article. Thank you for joining this webinar. Email us at rd-medschool@umich.edu with any questions.